What's up to Lion Talk Live? We love you too, buddy.
What's going on, guys? It is Aiden Hutchinson.
What's up, man? It's your boy Amon-Ra St. Brown.
What's up, everybody? It's Calvin Johnson Jr. here, a.k.a. Megatron, a.k.a. First Ballot.
What's going on, Coach Dan at Lions Talk Live and the Duke Crew? This is Ball Hawk Ifata Melifonwu of the Detroit Lions. Everybody make sure you help support the YouTube channel Lions Talk Live by clicking that like and subscribe button. Let's get it and go Detroit.
Greetings and salutations to everyone out there in YouTube land. This is Dan Skipper, offensive weapon for the Detroit Lions. Make sure you all help support Lions Talk Live and Coach Dan by clicking on that like and subscribe button. Everybody, woo!
I love nothing more than watching Lions Talk Live every morning. Woo!
Well, greetings and salutations to everybody out there in YouTube land. I am your host once again, Dan Thornton. I want to thank you all for joining us here today. Hey, it is a Sunday morning show edition, and it is the eve before unofficial free agency begins. As we all know, come tomorrow, the tampering period begins. You're going to start getting word coming out, this person signed with that person got traded for this person. All bunch of stuff is going to go down on tomorrow. And you know what? We've got some news that we're going to get into during the main top of the day, but it came out overnight, and I want to give credit where credit's due. It's nothing from any of my sources, nothing from anybody I know. Nobody contacted me about it, but as you can tell from the thumbnail for this morning's show, hey, Brad Berryman over at SI.com did report that the Lions have been contacted about Taylor Decker potentially leaving town in a trade and what that would mean for the team as far as replacing their longtime left tackle. We're going to dive into that during the main topic of the day. We're going to get into the 5 headlines now momentarily because the Lions did resign yet another player, and I know most of you are going to say Marcus Davenport, but yes, there is yet another player beyond Davenport that I didn't at least widely see reported yesterday. We'll get into that during the 5 headlines now. Real quick, though, before we do all that, if you have half a second time, if you haven't yet subscribed to Lions Talk Live, please consider doing so. We're making that march for 13,300 subs. We are 4 subs away from that. And then obviously the march is on for 13,400 subs. And we're 104 away from that. So we can help out with both those goals and objectives. I surely would be thankful. Last, if you are, let's see, if you have a half second time, reach on down, hit the thumbs up button, the like button, hit all those buttons down there. Because as you probably know, if you've watched YouTube for any length of time, it helps every content creator out. We try to get every episode of this show between 200, 300, 400 or more thumbs up or likes. Also, as you can see scrolling at the bottom of the screen, if you need to contact me because you were wanting to buy real estate anywhere in the great state of Michigan or the continental United States, give me a call or shoot me a text. You see the number on the screen, 269-998-2384. Been in the industry for over 30 years. So if you want somebody who's not going to give any BS, any gruff or anything, going to help you out, save you some money, save you some time, make sure you don't get overcharged on this, that, and the other thing, go ahead and call me, 269-998-2384, or shoot me a text. All right, now with all that said, done, out of the way, let's get this show a rocking and a rolling and a going and get into 5 headlines now. All right, 5 big headlines for a Sunday morning. Let's see. In a Detroit Lions NFL free agent signing tracker, who's in and who's out? Marlo Alter of the Detroit Free Press with this one. So we'll dive through this real quick because I think most of you guys probably know who's happening, what's happening, etc. Marcus Davenport, yes, it came out yesterday, and I'm very thankful for all you guys sending me those updates and such. I just didn't have time. I was so completely burnt out from this past week. Most of you guys know it is the playoffs for the team I coach. We had, we made it through round 3 of the playoffs. We had 2 just nail-biting fourth quarter, rallies. One of them went into overtime. The other one, man, we were down like 9 points and had to fight all of our way back to get a win. So you know what? Yesterday, the tank needed to be refilled. I needed some rest, and I did try to recover. Plus, I had to get the team ready, try to start breaking down film, et cetera, to get ready for our Monday, the next playoff game. At any rate, so addressing it now, Marcus Davenport, I know a lot of you contacted me about him being re-signed yesterday. Some people absolutely hate this re-signing. Some people think it's, a good deal. Here's what I would say. you know what you have in Davenport. And I don't know all the terms. Nobody does yet of the contract, just that it's under $5 million. I wonder how much of that is incentive based. I got to imagine, considering his injury history, probably most of that is incentive based. So at the end of the day, if this is really only like a $2 million guaranteed contract, what's the chance of finding someone for $2 million a year that actually has some ability to get after the quarterback if they can stay healthy? I think it's a great depth piece for the Lions. If all that holds water with the contract, you know what you got with him. He can set the edge. When he was healthy and out there, he was not bad at all. So if my guess is still that Zadarius Smith starting on one side, Aiden Hutchinson on the other, and now you have Alaquin Muhammad and then Marcus Davenport backing him up. That's not so bad, especially since we're on the eve of free agency and the draft in a month and a half or whatever it is until the draft. Lions might have some real depth there, and don't forget Josh Pascal and some other guys that we've drafted recent years that have had some mixed results. All right, Ezekiel Turner re-signed with the Lions. Y'all probably knew that. I reported it, I want to say, on yesterday's show. And then Derek Barnes also has been re-signed. So Derek Barnes, don't forget, has been used as a situational or edge pass rusher. And I think there's some possibility we could be seeing that this year, along with Jack Campbell. Let's not forget we've had a change in defensive coordinator. Kelvin Shepard does like to like linebackers. Being a former NFL one himself, I won't be surprised if you see a multitude of guys getting after the quarterback this year. All right, next to the 5 headlines now. Lions, like I said, I didn't want to put it in the prior headline or a thumbnail or whatever you want to say, but the Lions re-signed linebacker Anthony Pittman. This comes from NFLTradeRumors.com. So this is actually the 4th person you've re-signed this offseason. And again, more depth, more stability. We all thought last year we had a ton of depth across the board. Problem is, we had even more injuries. Let's not forget, there were times we were, driving all the way down to Sturgis, Michigan to sign people from Hot Now to be on the Lions team because we were that beat up. And yes, that is a free plug to Hot Now. Go check it out if you ever go through Sturgis. It is currently the last remaining one, although there are going to open up 2 more in the, I want to say, the Wayland area and somewhere else. All right, Lions surprisingly bring their, quote, worst signing of 2024 back for on a $4.75 million deal. Athlon Sports, John Vicario. Won't spend a lot of time on this because it was in one of the prior headlines now. But again, I like his size. I like his speed. I like the things Davenport can do. I also get everybody should have a raised eyebrow about this guy being signed because you know what? Name the last time he's been healthy for a season. I can't. And somebody may have that answer. Throw it in the comment section, and I don't know, maybe get a free Mountain Dew out of it. But here's what I can say. If he's really going to be, Davenport's really going to be a backup rotational guy, is it really that bad a deal? You probably take less wear off him, maybe let that body heal. And again, considering the price tag of under $5 million, and I do believe the actual terms are going to be far below that, I'm just not sure if you would find anybody with more clear upside than Davenport for anywhere around that price. I would also say I don't think there's any chance we're going after Khalil Mack at this point. But man, oh man, I've been wrong before. All right, Lions free agency tracker news, live updates, rumors, analysis, story by Jared Ramsey and Marlo Alter of the Detroit Free Press. We get it. Everybody's tracking it. It is the eve of free agency, and there's all sorts of speculation, who's going where, etc. We even got some of that in the main topic of the day today. But let's take you over the Free Pass to say what the Davenport signing likely means for the Detroit Lions. They break that down. This is a great story. If you guys got nothing going on today, pull this one up, Google it or whatever, and have a little fun with it. But news did break that Saturday that Davenport's coming back. They kind of break down what this means as far as who you can probably take off the board for free agency. I guess here's the question I would have based on this particular story. If Davenport's here, do we really think we're going to go after somebody else? If we do go after somebody else, how good does that Detroit Lions pass rush now look as far as rotation? I don't believe there's any chance at this point, where, like I said before, that we're going after Khalil Mack or Joey Bosa or somebody else like that. But if we were to make a trade still for Trey Hendrickson or Myles Garrett or whoever, what do you think about the Detroit Lions ends now? You think about all those names we just went through, and now if you add a stud like that and maybe even somebody else through the draft, I have to believe that at the very least, the depth at defensive end and pass rush for the Lions has vastly improved over a season ago, at least at the start of a season ago. They take you in the story to Ezekiel Turner, some of the impacts of them. They do mention that the Lions may be potentially interested in Jonathan Allen, who's going to be released by the Washington Commanders. I think that's been widely reported. Washington's doing it basically to free up some cap space, while Allen was once upon a time perhaps one of the NFL's most dominant defensive tackles. He's no longer quite that guy. So unfortunately, just because of his salary cap implications, they are going to release him. Could the Lions pick him up? Man, we just talked about getting a couple of more people on the defensive side of the ball. If Allen is the guy they add in there, what are your thoughts on that defensive line? It does seem like the Lions are trying to make a legitimate move to make the defensive line one of the most powerful units on this team. And let's not forget, the Lions have got a lot of powerful units. Offensive line, which we'll be talking about momentarily, the main topic, safety position, wide receiver room, the running back room. There's a lot of depth across this team. And if this goes down where Allen comes to Detroit, plus the NFL draft, the Lions might just have one of the scariest groups out there. The story also breaks down the possibility of Harold Landry, who was released by the Tennessee Titans, being added to the Detroit Lions. I would say I want to hold my breath on this one. It would be great to have him. Don't get me wrong. I'm just not sure where at some point you fit everybody in. Most of these guys are going to want to get snaps, want to get an opportunity for big numbers so they can get another big contract somewhere else, whether it's here or there, wherever. But right now he's a free agent. It wouldn't cost you anything other than the contract. Lions do have some salary cap available. It wouldn't make me cry if we added Harold Landry on the outside. All right. And then they do talk about the Carlton Davis. I know we reported on it yesterday that he's at least having some conversations with the Lions. I think that's what we can all agree upon. Whether you think he's coming back or not, I don't know. I guess we'll see what shakes down in the next week or two. But I do think Carlton Davis is at least somewhat open to the idea about coming back to the Lions. I think he sees what the Lions have. He also wants a multiple-year deal, not a 1 or 2 year deal. We'll see what shakes out in time with that. All right, last of the 5 headlines now. Lions Derek Barnes defends himself. Don't ruin big moments. SI.com by John Macarone. There were a lot of people that came after the Lions for signing him. If you look at the numbers, Barnes is what it is, man. I like the guy. I don't think he's great. I don't think he's terrible by any stretch. I would say, in my opinion, it doesn't have to be your opinion, I think Alex Anzalone in some ways is clearly better. And most of that's in pass coverage. Anzalone is a very good, beyond adequate, I should say, a very good linebacker in covering tight ends, running backs out of the backfield. Probably don't want him going up against slot receivers or anything, but you get his strengths there. Jack Campbell, hey, the dude's a hammer. He can slam into that line. He can beat up running backs, tight ends, etc. He does flow well from sideline to sideline. Derek Barnes, I think, does both of those things. He just doesn't do it at the same degree that Anzalone or Campbell does. Now, I do think he's probably better than Anzalone at stuff in the run in certain ways. I also think he's probably ultimately a little bit better at this point than Jack Campbell in pass coverage. So he's kind of a mixture of the two. I guess what I would say with Derek Barnes, I get why some fans are not happy about him re-signing at that price tag. But the other side of it is we're talking about this team having depth all across the board, strong units. You know what? This linebacker unit is now pretty dang solid with those 3. Could they still add somebody else? Could Harold Landry be in the mix or somebody else? Yes, indeed. But we can say this. There's no weakness with the Detroit Lions linebackers at this point with these guys. All right, not going to be the longest show today just because I do got to keep working on stuff for a playoff game tomorrow. But let's get us over to the main topic today. I was actually surprised when I got up way too early this morning for this. And when I saw this story, I was like, you know what? We're going to talk about it. So let's get into the main topic of the day. It has been speculated by Lions fans for some time that maybe Taylor Decker is beginning to show signs of fatigue and wear. We went into last season saying, hey, he's maybe starting to edge down a little bit. He didn't have a great season 2 seasons ago. I actually thought last year was not bad other than, what was it? There was like a quarter where he just seemed to really have a stinker against the Minnesota Vikings in Minnesota. And then there was another game. I think it might have been the very next game against the Tennessee Titans where Landry or somebody beat him pretty bad twice in the first quarter. After that, I thought Decker had a pretty solid season all around. Not going to say he was, top 5 in the league or anything like that, but probably top 10-ish, left tackle in the league. Could some of that have been because of Graham Glasgow struggling a little bit at the guard's position next to him? I do think there is some correlation with that. Whatever it may be, though, it is being reported, and again, not from me, not somebody I heard from, that the Detroit Lions were contacted recently, it says, about the possibility of moving on from their left tackle. Taylor Decker, we all get it, re-signed a contract extension, I think it was last offseason, and hey, let's be honest, if you're struggling to protect your quarterback, you need somebody to fill in for a year, maybe two. Taylor Decker might be an ideal situation. That contract is not very costly. It's easy, actually, on the books for the Lions if they want to move on from him. But here would be my big question. Why in the heck would you do this? That we all get it. Jared Goff, and like every other NFL quarterback, if they get rattled, if they don't have time, you know what? It's not an ideal situation for someone like Goff. And we get it. He's not the most mobile quarterback or whatever. He's not going to extend plays on his own more often than not. I don't see this going down, but if it happens, who is the team that wants him? And this story does not break that down. It doesn't go through it. NFL analyst thinks Lions might trade Taylor Decker without a viable immediate replacement plan. This is the second portion of it, of that same story by the same authors. There's some quotes in there. They do point out what Kansas City just did as far as trading. They do speculate, could this mean that the Lions are going to address left tackle in the draft? Also a possibility. But here's what I would say to you guys. In the last two off seasons or drafts, Lions have made some moves at the tackle position. We're probably just not considering this, but let's talk about it. Could Kobe Sorsdale be ready to play? And if not left tackle, could he be able to take over the right tackle and then move Panay to left tackle? I think that's an option you would have to consider if the Lions did trade Taylor Decker. The other one would be Giovanni Manu. Now, we all get it. This guy is a massive human being. He is incredibly athletic for a guy that size. You know, flows, if you watch his lateral quickness, I have no doubts about him as far as being able to play the tackle position at some point, assuming his mechanics got more cleaned up. Could it be, I guess we would have to consider, that the Detroit Lions hit an absolute freaking home run out of the park, grand slam style, you know, Michael Jordan breakaway 15-footer slam dunk or something like that with Giovanni Manu? Because if they trade Decker, somebody's got to come in there to protect Goff, keep the running game going, etc. Maybe you say, man, there's this rookie left tackle I know we're going to be able to get in the first round pick or whatever that's going to come on in and save the day. I just, as a coach, I would struggle to think that I'm going to put the entire season, especially the backside of my quarterback, on the line with a rookie that I think is going to do it. So that leads me to believe the Lions, if they traded Decker, they've identified that one of those two guys or somebody else on the team, I don't know, maybe Dan Skipper, he didn't do horribly last year when he filled in for Decker in 2 games, but could it be that one of those guys, in their opinion, is ready to ascend to the starting spot, whether it's left tackle or right tackle? I'll let you guys debate. What I would say is, the only thing I want to know is, if you're trading Decker, who is it that you would be trading him to? I know some of you guys are going to say, man, we're trading him to, I don't know, the Raiders for Max Crosby. I don't see that happening. Could you be trading him somewhere else to another team to acquire a player of interest? That could also be a possibility. Somebody that they feel, you know, I'm just total speculation here. There's nothing in the story about this, but could you be trading him to a team that needs more offensive line help, and in return, you're getting a defensive end or a pass rusher? So I guess maybe you could say, I don't know, maybe Dallas or something. Maybe a part of a Micah Parsons trade, right? Or maybe you could trade him to, I don't know, the Cincinnati Bengals for Trey Hendrickson. I could see that scenario to a certain degree, where maybe you give up Decker and a 5th-round pick and you get Trey Hendrickson, and maybe they have a backup there that could come help out on our depth on the offensive line. There's a lot of thoughts, I think, that would have to be able to be reviewed here. They do point out in this story that the reviews of Giovanni Manu's development as a rookie season has been very good, as he has the quote red shirt year he was expected to have coming out of Canada, the Canadian college. Going from that to being Jared Goff's blindside protector next season would be quite a step up, and a preemptive one that doesn't seem to be a part of the Lions' offseason plans. I still struggle to think that this could go down, but Decker is getting a little bit older. Yes, his contract extension was a nice plus for the team, but yes, he did have moments of struggles last year, and you'd have to really break down the film to know if it was all on him or if it was on, maybe something to do with the missing the communication with Graham Glasgow or whatever. What say you do, crew? What would you trade Taylor Decker for? 1, and 2, let me know in the comment section. If you're making this move for the Detroit Lions, does this mean Kobe Scoresdale, Dan Skipper, or Giovanni Manu are ready to take over that spot? All right, let's get over to you guys. I've got about 20 minutes, and then I got to roar on out of here. So let me get to the top of the screen. And no, but don't be a knuckle and say he's going to Chicago. I don't think there's any way that would go down. All right, JDC, morning all. Back at you. You can hate me now. A Decker for trade. Oh, yeah. Trade straight up would be interesting. Could they do that straight up? I don't know, but you are probably right, and I know I mentioned it. There's probably a few teams, and it doesn't say who the team is in the article. Maybe they'll come out with something more later on in the day or tomorrow, but it does bring the question, who is contacting Detroit for him, 1, and 2, why would you trade him if you're Detroit? There would have to be some real motivation, I think, from the Lions to say, yeah, we can go in that direction. Steve, good morning, coach and crew. Hope you're all having a great morning. What are we getting in return for Decker? Man, who knows, man? It's got to be something to move off your left tackle, because outside of quarterback, outside of, I would say, defensive end, left tackle is probably one of the top 3 positions in the NFL. So, and I get we probably all agree quarterback's number 1. What's number 2? I don't know. Probably left tackle ultimately, because if you have a quarterback, you got to keep him standing. Stephanie, good morning, boys. Exclamation point. Why would we consider trading Decker, and who would take his place? Those are 2 big burning questions, Stephanie. I don't have the answers for yet. I'm going to keep working on it. It's anything I say is going to be speculative. So I'm just going to say this. If they trade him, they have to believe one of those backups that they've been grooming for a season or 2 is ready to ascend. I would think it would be Giovanni Manu, but man, oh man, I would put him at right tackle and move Panay over to left. George, do we know what team contacted us? Decker for Hendrickson? Yeah, I think everybody's going to be jumping on the Cincinnati potential trade out there, but I have no idea what team. It's not mentioned, and everybody I reached out to this morning is probably still sleeping, so I probably won't hear back from them until later in the day. Bo, good morning, Sunday morning, Duke crew. Woo! And same to you, Eddie. Greetings, salutations, Duke crew. Who's ready for free agency? Question mark. Lions have made some moves already. They have in the last 48 hours, 72 hours. They've made some nice re-signings of their own guys. I like most of those moves. I like the dollar amounts. Let's see what they go from here. Burger time. Good morning, coach. Big week for the Lions. Hopefully we address the glaring need pass rush. Woo! Go Lions. To your point, Bergs, if the Lions do make a move to bring in a Landry or, trade for Trey Hendrickson or something, I think you probably could look at the Lions defensive line and say that is one of the deepest units in the NFL, and we still have the NFL draft coming in. Burger time. Top of the morning to you, JDC, exclamation point, one pride, Lions for life. You got to be a Lions fan for life. Bo, so who's going to play left tackle? Panay? That's what I would do, Bo. I'd probably move him over, and then whoever's going to be popped into the lineup, I'd probably put him at right tackle. That's me, though. JDC, morning, Berg. Same to you both. Trey, what's good, everybody? Manu, Bo Booth? Yeah, maybe, indeed. Bo, there's an idea, Trey. Tori, good morning. It seems like Brad is just going to re-sign everyone of value from last year and not be active in free agency. It's totally possible. Yeah, it's totally possible. You do see where they're putting an emphasis on re-signing guys who've already been here. We talked about, I think, on yesterday's show, Lions clearly have a priority of re-signing their own draft picks first, but free agents they do bring in, if they panned out well, they've done some good things, they're trying to keep those guys as well. Pierce, I'd move Panay, over there and try Manu at right. Yeah, that's probably what I would do as well. Good thinking there. Pierce, and why is Davenport back? He's cheap, man. And again, I get we all see the less than $5 million price tag, the whatever it is, $4.75 million price tag. Think about it. If he's anything, if he stays healthy and he gives you any kind of results this year, that's pretty dang cheap for an end in the NFL, especially one with, it's reasonable to say if he stays healthy, some upside. Jess, greetings, salutations. We've re-signed more defensive players than I would have guessed. Hope we can still get CD3. If we get CD3 and Levi Onwuzurike, which I don't think we're going to get both. But if we do, man, I guess you could even say if we get one of them, that's been a real good offseason so far for Detroit, in my opinion. Hey, good morning, Coach Dan and the Duke Crew. Exclamation point. What a team. What a podcast. What a time to be a Lions fan. Woo! Go Lions. And good morning to you too, my friend. John, now we don't have no excuse to win the Super Bowl. That's on us. 100%. 100%. How are you doing? I'm doing well. How about you, Johnny? Hopefully a good start to your day. Wayne, no way to trade Decker. I see people trashing the signing of Davenport. I trust Brad. If he stays healthy, Davenport will be help a lot. I like the signing. Me too. And again, I think he's going to be a backup, which, hey, take some wear off him, take some, some hits off him. It should help keep him fresh and healthy. Plus, I like the rotation that is emerging for the Detroit Lions defensive line. France, I can only say my views, which is I like the re-signing of Turner, Davenport, and Barnes. Yeah, some good depth pieces and familiarity for sure. And Turner's got some wheels, too. He's got some real athleticism. Pierce, when has Davenport ever stayed healthy, though? That is a great question. Let's see if somebody can Scooby-Doo that in the comments section for us all. John, unless he's going to retire here in 2 years, I don't know. I'm talking about Decker. Yeah, I have no idea if he's going to retire. I'm assuming if he doesn't get traded, like this report is saying, then, yeah, he probably will retire a Detroit Lion. Wayne, good morning, Dano and Duke Crew. Go Lions, Santa Clara, here we come. Woo! Oh, yeah. And good morning to you too, Wayne. John, and who is the weight and as good as Decker? Who has the weight? That I don't know. I mean, Giovanni Manu is a bigger person and probably has more weight. I don't know the last time he's been weighed, but you've got some options. I struggle to think you're going to trade away your starting left tackle unless you really feel one of those other guys is ready to come on in. Now, Pierce, I don't think Manu is ready. He made a pretty noticeable jump, Donnie Burr, in the preseason. You could see, he at least looked the part out there. Is he ready to be a starting every down left tackle or right tackle? Man, I have no idea. It's a good thought, though. Good question. Susan, good morning. Exclamation point. So someone contact the team about getting Decker? Apparently so. He needs to retire a Lion. He's one of the last few links to the prior regime, to the Quintricia era, all that stuff. But, hey, Father Time's not good to any of us. If somebody really needs a left tackle and they're willing to overpay to a degree to get him, I guess maybe you do move on if you have faith in one of these guys you've been developing. Pierce, Don, I agree, was just a hypothetical if Decker does, in fact, get traded 100%. John, second and fourth pick. If that's what you get for Decker, man, I'd be all for it, man. I mean, if you have somebody you have faith in to step on in. Don, but Sewell is eventually our left tackle for sure. Yeah, that's what I think. At some point when Decker moves on, unless there's just another stud that comes in and they don't want to move Panay, then yeah, I think at the end of the road, at some point in the next, 3-4 years, Panay Sewell is going to be your left tackle. John, and a veteran player, that it's okay, but I don't think we're going to do that. Maybe not. I have no idea. Pierce, Don, then 28 probably becomes a right tackle. Yes, probably. That's a good thought there, Pierce. Don, Malcolm Kuntz will be at line tomorrow. I hope so, man. That would not upset me. Five Fingers Freddy, if we trade Decker, would we get anything of real value? Question mark. And why would we be open to him? Or why would we open a massive hole on the O line? I think Five Fingers, basically at the end of the day, you're either drafting someone or you feel like somebody you drafted last year or the year before are ready to come on in. Don, Pierce, yes, depending on how the board falls, yeah, there could definitely be somebody of interest there. John, yeah, you have to think about that. Oh, correct, because you need the offensive players to be one. Yes, correct. Quentin, great salutations, y'all. Nope, ain't having keep Decker. I would not move him unless I really was sold somebody else is going to be equal or maybe even better. Pierce, I think it's Cincy who called about him. Yeah, that I don't know. I'll try to find out later today, but, just I guess with the hour change and everything. Plus, it's Sunday. Not everybody in sports media wants to get up early on the Sunday. Bird time. Any news on CD3? Nothing that I've heard of as of yet, but my guess is if he's going to remain a Lion, that means that you come the first 72 hours of free agency, he hasn't signed somewhere else. Pierce, in a deal for Hendrickson. Yeah, Decker for Hendrickson. I know a lot of you guys have been mentioning that in the chat. So small, thanking my phone for knowing the time change. Yeah, because the dogs woke me up, and I looked over at my phone. I was like, wait a minute. Yeah, it's that time. It's 5:30 in the morning. Went on downstairs, and I looked at the stove, and I was, wait a minute, it says 4:30. I was like, aha, the time change. Voltron, good morning, Duke Crew, back at you. Pat, Coach Dan is the host of the most. Thanks for that, man. Love me some Lions Talk live in the mornings. Hey, we love having you here. Dave, wait, no chance we are moving Decker unless Manny or Skipper are taking over the left tackle spot. No chance of that. Okay. Leonard, makes no sense, Coach, with a non-mobile quarterback. Yeah, I would have some questions too, for sure, Leonard, but if they do it, clearly the team has a plan. JDC, I say, no, I'm moving Decker out. Me too. I like him. He's put in the time, put in the effort, but I guess if somebody makes you an offer, you can't refuse, right? The Trim Reaper, good morning, Coach and Duke Crew. Woo! And same to you, Trim. Pierce, I'm only entertaining this if it's a Hendrickson deal. Hey, maybe it is. I have no idea, guys. Wayne, let's go Lions. And morning to you. Michigan Panther Pride. Good morning, Coach Dan and the world famous Duke Crew. Hey, gotta love me some Duke Crew. 8-10 Ray, good. All right, good morning to you too. Gary, where's Jamarco Jones? I think he's still with the Lions, but I'd have to confirm that. I just, off the top of my noggin, I don't know. Courtney, great and salutations, Duke Crew, exclamation point. Decker is so good. Just watch film on left tackle on O-line. That looked like a sleeve. There you go. Civ, excuse me. Let's see, 8-10 Ray, Decker is old. It's time to go. Maybe that's what they're thinking. JDC, Puff, woo, coffee, and Lions Talk Live. Pierce, better not be the Chicago Bears calling about Decker. The price tag would probably go up, I would think, if that's the case. Trina Conway and Christina Conway, good morning on this Sunday. Woo! Go Lions. Everyone have a safe and blessed Sunday. Same to you. Hopefully it was a great day for you. Let's see, Aaron, the Lions need to move Decker. He's old. There will be some thoughts about that maybe it's just time to move him out and then bring in one of the younger players. It could be what they're going with. I just don't have more than just the story at this point. I've reached out to different people trying to get some confirmation or further details. If I get them during the show, I'll update everybody. Third time, what's up with CD3? Thought he was resigning. It sounds like he's open to it. It's just, obviously it hasn't happened yet. Hopefully within the next, day or two, we get some sort of update on him. I would love him to be back. I think most of us want him back. Now it just comes down to working out the terms, right? Let's see, Keith, good morning and greetings, salutations, Dan and the Duke Crew, exclamation point. The Lions are Super Bowl bound. Woo! I'll take that. Phil, greetings, salutations, Duke Crew, and back at you, Philly. Pierce, bird time, all depends on how big the bag is. Or correct. Again, Davenport, why? Hey, we'll find out. Bird time. Reports are he was resigning. Yes, indeed. Broski, Decker to the Bears. Woo! We'll see. Let's see, Pierce. Don't doubt Brad is talking to his agent. Burger Time. 100%. Yeah, probably always talking. Burger Time. Get out of here, David. Yes. You mean Broski. Let's see, Phil. The hair of greatness is still intact. Yeah, we got to work out a time with a team where they can take my hair down a little bit. So we'll be working that out this week probably. Pierce, Decker is not going to the Bears. Maybe not. We'll find out. JDC, David, who's on first? We'll find out. Bird time to the Packers. All right. Craig, Coach, do you think Carlton Davis stays? Looks like we are a couple of $1 million away from his demand. I personally hope he does stay, man, but I don't have any, firm inside information that says, yes, he is going to stay. My guess is if we make it through the first 3 days of free agency and he hasn't signed somewhere else, that tells me that the Lions and him are pretty dang close on terms. Gato, just hold Davenport out into the playoffs. Hey, that could be one way to do it. David, who's on second? We'll find out. Berg time. Guy sneeze, he gets hurt. Well, keep him from sneezing. That would help then. Aaron, David, that's not exciting news. You just made yourself look bad. Okay. Come on, Davenport. The price is right. Yes, Derek, you are right. He came on down in his terms. JDC, who? That I don't know. David, hopefully Decker can help the Bears for a few more years. We'll find out. Kurt Steele, what up, though? What up, man of Steel? What up, dog, says David. Berg time. Bargain basement Brad. He's always looking for good deals. And he Phil. GTSU, Mr. Steele. All right. The Trim Reaper. Maturity is an age. It is a destination. Correct, sir. That is correct. Is that still you? Greetings, salutations. Early risers is the pride. Exclamation point. I like the signing so far. Practical and reasonable. Yeah. No big spends there. David, at least I'm not in Michigan right now hating the cold. All right, fair enough. How is North Carolina anyways? One funky. People have been trying to trade Decker for 4 years. I believe it when I see it. Yeah, all I can do is tell you the report says the Lions were contacted by someone. It does not say who nor what the terms were about or anything like that. JDC, come on, summertime. It is around the corner. Burger time. If he resigns Mosley again, I will lose it. Yeah, I think Emmanuel Mosley's time in the NFL is probably done. Without going into all that. 9 Drinks would love all Lions talk. Why the heck did we go Davenport back? BS waste of money and cap. I'm upset. Hey, they clearly see something in them that they like, and hey, hopefully it pans off for us. Michigan Panther Pride, Kurt Steele, good morning, boss. Back at you both. Trim Reaper, what up, though, Kurt, the Hitman? Hitman says, Michigan Panther Pride, what up, though, my guy. David, hopefully Mosley resign. Yeah, I think he's resigning with the Bears. He's going to be the starting quarterback. Kurt Steele, Trim Reaper, what up, though? Bird time. If CD3 goes to Packers, I'm going to be less than happy. Michigan Panther Pride, Kurt Steele, you know the grind up and at the M early on Sunday? Yes, you got to get up and after him early on a Sunday morning. Alec, I've never seen a GM this hell-bent on signing injured players. Year 4 into Holmes' regime and still cannot get that defensive line humming. Let's hope it turns around this year. Keith, Decker will not, exclamation point, want to leave his team, especially when we are so close to the Super Bowl. Go Decker, go Lions, 14-3, Super Bowl bound. Woo! And I'm down with all the above. Kurt Steele, daylight saving time is throwing me off this morning. I think it threw a lot of people off, but apparently not the dogs. Pierce, Kurt, daylight saving time is the worst. Michigan Panther Pride, me too. Kurt, David, Holmes is a cheap guy. He does like value. How about that? Gito, football is a physical sport. People get hurt. Yes, they do. David, no daylight saving times over here. Well, enjoy it in North Carolina. Derek, the lost time doesn't even save a minute, correct? 9 Drinks, Henderson would be a better option. We'll find out. Kurt Steele, Landry is a Sam. He is a Sam. Hey, Sam I am. Michigan Panther Pride, JDC, and he rolls. He does indeed. David Broski would be a better fit at defensive end. Yes, he would be. He should be playing for the Bears. I would enjoy all the extra time Jared Goff has. Let's see. Kerry, CD will sign a 3-year, $17 million, 12 guaranteed third-year option. Okay, that would be nice. Kurt Steele, Lions just re-signed Barnes. Yes, they did. One for you. Don, I don't know if Sewell even moves to left tackle. Look around the league. Majority of the top end pass rushers line up on the left of the defense. Wouldn't it be smart to keep your best against their best? Yes, it would be. Yes, you would. Not much matters if our quarterback continues to choke in the playoffs. Hey, hopefully he doesn't. Remember, 2 years ago, he didn't choke. So you're talking about one game. So I would say this. He's played 4 playoff games with Detroit. You could say one of them was pretty bad. The other 3 were pretty good. Michael, it's putting Band-Aids on a severed arm. Don't like the Davenport signing. Fair enough. We'll try to get some bigger Band-Aids. Michigan Panther Pride. Grit still thinking about starting a small merch shop before the season. Go for it, my friend. Johnny L., I forgot to get my clock. Doing it anyways. Good morning to the awesome, amazing Duke crew. Back at you, Johnny. Kurt Steele, Michigan Panther Pride. Do it. Our boss up, ball out shop will start soon. There you go. Craig, Coach, since we signed Barnes, do you think we will draft a linebacker in this upcoming draft? We are pretty deep now at backer. I don't think so, but, I mean, you never know, right? It really depends on the terms with a lot of those contracts. Best man gets the job. It doesn't matter if you're drafted or signed. JDC, Magic 8 Ball says defense wins the big one. I like it. Super Bowl Wilson. They showed Gibbs up on UFC pay-per-view. They showed Gibbs up. I know he likes going to the fights for sure. So good for him, man. Good to see him. One point, I'd love to add Landry to the mix. Me too. I would not be sad by any stretch of the imagination if we did that. Craig, Coach, seems we are pretty quiet on free agency. Do you know or see us signing any impact players' thoughts? My guess is if we sign some guys, it will probably be, second tier, third tier type guys just for depth purposes. It just doesn't seem like a Brad Holmes thing to go after one of the big gun guys in free agency. All right, Derek, I think we need an upgrade from Decker and Glasgow on the left side. Could be. Trim River, what's the difference between a baby fan and a Bears fan? A baby will stop crying after a while. That's probably true. Bears do cry a lot. Trim River, oops, that happens. Robert, greetings and salutations, Duke Crew. And Dan, hey, back at you. James, greetings and salutations, Duke Crew. The Lions need an extreme makeover on both offense and defense. Yeah, It could definitely be doing that. Trim Reaper, supposed to be what's the difference between a baby and a Bears fan? We'll find out. JDC, I give up. Hey, never give up. Never surrender. Big D, didn't he just resign? What the heck? Don't they didn't think they were going to trade a man they just paid? Yeah, the report just says that they were contacted about it. It doesn't say that they're going to trade him, but you never know. If somebody makes the right offer, everybody can be got. Aaron, move Panay to the left tackle. That's his natural position. Could be what they do. Manberg, good morning, all. Same to you, Manberg. Have a great day. Big D, I like moving Panay to the left side. Could be what they're thinking, too. 100%. Derek, what's going on with Pascal? Haven't heard anything about him. He hasn't carried his weight since he was drafted. He's had very mixed results, in my opinion. James Dollar General Brad Holmes can't get Myles Garrett due to financial issues. Due to financial issues with his contract. Let's move on and draft the pass rusher. Yeah, I think they're going to address the pass rush in the draft and the defense line overall. Silver Server, good morning, coach and everyone. Same at you. Courtney, O-line players are like a band of brothers. Sewell and Ragnow won't be happy. No, they won't be, but it's a business. It happens. One Foggy, Sewell is on his way to the Hall playing right tackle. He's playing against the best edges in the league over there. Why move him? That I don't know. Frank the Tink, no way they are trading Decker. This is just talk. Yes, right now it's just a story. We'll see if anything comes from that story. Carrie, Mr. Violence coming. Jamarco Jones, could be. Manberg, daylight saving times got me this year. Got a lot of us this year. Saves you. I knew where you were going with that. Chris Steele, Manberg, yes. Phil, Sewell is the left tackle naturally. He is. Big D, what the heck? News to me. They were signing Davenport. It better be all incentives. It could be. That apart, I don't think anybody really knows yet till we get the terms of his contract. Base, yeah, incentive base. Here, Mr. Vine's coming. DeMarco Jones, yeah, I don't know yet. Jeff, the reason our O-line is having a little problem is because they are all playing too many minutes. They are fat. Better play calling, keeping their energy in mind will help. Yeah, maybe having some rotational guys too there, Jeff. Aaron, Funky Sewell is a natural left tackle. I'll go with that. Earl, good morning. Dan and Duke Crew, same to you. Silver Server, probably it won't cost much to cut Davenport. It is a win-win situation for Detroit. Hopefully, he will have a great season. If healthy, he will start. Okay? 9 Drinks, has anyone else seen a hard do? Laughing out loud. Why did we give Davenport? That I don't know. And again, it could be all incentives, please. I don't know. I'm guessing there is a lot of incentives in his contract. Not $5 million. Yeah, I knew where you're going with that, 9 Drinks. Phil, sub and like, please. Yes, if you can, hit that subscribe button, hit the like button. One Foggy, and he's the best right tackle in the league, all while playing against the best players in the league like Max, D. Law, Hendrickson, Mack, and Hunter, all studs that line up across from the right tackle. Agreed. JDC, Detroit Lions rebuilding since 57. Stay tuned to Coach Dan and Lions Talk Live for more updates. Go Lions. I like it. Phil, did you pay off Father Time, Dan? You don't age. Hey, it must be the Mountain Dew, right? Silver Server, they signed Davenport, but they are not counting on Davenport. It's called a bet. Yeah, I'll go with that. German Reaper, I was wondering why it's still dark outside. Hey, the sun hasn't come out just yet. Phil, Goff brought Flubber and is now on his show. He'll be bouncing all over the place. Yeah, Flubber, that is a throwback to some Disney movies of the past. Silver, I was surprised by the Barnes re-signing, but he is a brick indeed. They must believe in him and know he is healthy. And you know what? They drafted him. They continue to show they're going to take care of their own guys first. Vince E, trade Decker while he has value. Could be what they are doing. T-Bones, I love Davenport on the field, and it wasn't a re-injury due to his dirty tactics. I pulled his injury history off, and I feel good about his chances. Yeah, and especially if it's a highly incentive contract, then there's really not much on the line for the team. Silver Server, who is going to give Detroit something for an old tackle with a big contract? Yeah, somebody who needs something. That's all I can say. Phil, how are your players all healthy, Dan? Anyone banged up? Hey, this point in the year, everybody's banged up. It's just you've gone through 4 or 5 months of stuff. Yeah, nobody's 100%, but you know what? You find a way, you power through. Trump's good talking to you yesterday, broski. There you go. JDC, who? All balls no D. Good morning, Duke Crew. Back at you. Man, talk about somebody I don't feel like I've seen in a minute. Good to see you, my friend. Finally a day off. Congrats to you, my friend. Silver Surfer scores that. Sorsdale has been already parked by Detroit. Last season disappeared. Yeah, he was. I don't think he was active any particular game. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there was one. I know Manu wasn't active for any games. James, they better go after someone else. Davenport may not even make it out of the mini camp before he is out for the season. Sorry if that's what they think the answer is going to be in the long season. Yeah, my guess is, James, I could be wrong, but I think they're just viewing him as a rotational backup. And again, if it's a highly incentive-based contract, you get rid of him. It doesn't really cost you anything. But I really liked the fellow, but he reminded me a bit of an off-season Broderick Martin. Okay, one funky. If they bring back Mosley on a 1 year, $1 million deal, that would be fine. Please realize that $1 million guys don't even affect the cap. I'll go with that. All balls. Decker allowed several sacks, looked horrible in a lot of games. He had some moments for sure. Dennis, good morning. Dan and Duke Crew, back at you. Silver Server. Skipper is not a starting NFL O-lineman. No, I would agree so, but they got to have some kind of plan if they trade Decker. I wouldn't think it would be Skipper, but I've been wrong before. JK, funny how Dan and Brad make sure they got extended and that they're raised first. I mean, why the heck not laughing out loud? Okay, the cap is fake. Probably some truth to that. You can manipulate it like in all sports. You can manipulate it if you know what you're doing. And I got to imagine most of the NFL teams do. Almost, you see teams going after high-end players all the time. They make it work. Correct with that. Phil, why is left tackle considered more important? Just because it is the backside of most quarterbacks because they can't see that rush coming. All balls, no D, because left tackle saves quarterback or is supposed to. Correct. Trumps, because he protects the right-handed quarterback blind side. I'll go with that. All balls. Haven't you ever watched The Blind Side? Correct. Yeah, it's a good movie. JK cap raised yearly is real. It is. It goes up yearly. The all balls, they can front load it so they can back load it. There's so many ways to get around the cap. It's not real. Yeah, if you're creative, you can probably outthink the cap. One funky Phil, because most quarterbacks are right-handed and it puts their back naturally to that side. Plus, years ago, all the top defensive ends lined up on that side. Yeah, but you think about Hutchinson. A lot of times, Hutchinson is going up against the right tackle. Sometimes the left, but mostly the right. Rocky, good morning, all. Good to see you, Coach. Curry, this week will tell the tale of free agency. It will be a tale, and we're all going to be watching. Glued to it. JK, funny. Trim Reaper, have a great day, Coach and Duke Crew. Woo! Good luck, Coach. Thank you. We're going to need it, man. At this point in the year, it's just, anytime in the playoffs, it's just survive in advance. Rocky, Chicago might want Decker. Could be. All balls. Decker will retire before he goes to Chicago. Might be true. Central Scoot, stay tuned to the Duke Crew channel for the free agency games in the motion. Have a great day, everyone. Woo! One pride, 100%. And yes, I'll try to update you guys whenever possible this week on free agency news. You know, the tough part's going to be if something breaks while I'm coaching, I'm not going to be able to help you. Let's see. James Jones, why haven't they re-signed Zeitler yet? They need him, in your opinion? I want them to resign him. I hope they resign him. My guess is, man, is he still just struggling to think about retiring, or does he want to test free agency? Jess, wasn't Decker hurt with a pec tear? Man, I can't talk. I think that was Frank the Tank. I don't think it was Decker. Chuck, I don't see Decker being traded. I hope not, my friend. Jess, Glasgow was injured as well. He was playing hurt. Silver Serve, Manu is 360 pounds, and they will play him one day at left tackle, which is his position. Sewell will stay right tackle if Manu becomes a true Detroit starter. Wouldn't that be something? Jess, Ragnow has a toe issue. Yes, I do remember. Chuck, left tackle is the second most important position in football. For left-handed teams, it's right tackle. Oh, yeah, well, if you got a left-handed quarterback, right. Anymore, have a glorious day, Duke Crew and Coach Dan. Back at you. JDC, happy trails, go Lions victory. Jess, Sewell is probably the only healthy one all year, I think. Yeah, might be. JK, not a Mountain Dew guy, but I'm universal. There you go. Do what works for you. See what I did there? Bo, happy trails, Duke Crew. Jess, what is Sewell's best position? Man, I think he played tight end. I think he played fullback. I wouldn't be surprised if he could play on defense. All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and get out of here, get back to coaching duties and some work duties. I got to show some houses today. So anyway, if there's breaking news later today, I'll get it over to you as quick as possible. Before you check out, if you could do me a favor, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the share and copy button, hit all the buttons. Take care. Enjoy the rest of your day. Do something kind for someone you don't know. Be a good human being. And we'll see you all in the next Lions Talk Live. Take care, everybody. You're still here? What are you doing here? It's over. The show's over. Go home.